What's up, everyone? Welcome back. This morning, Bitcoin is sitting at $68,300 currently. Um, Today, I wanted to discuss what stocks you should be looking to buy uh, by the end of this year or before the end of this year because they have so much upside potential. And those are some of the crypto miners. Also, I wanted to discuss where I think the Bitcoin price could be heading in the short term, midterm, and long term outlooks, as well as some other commodities that um, are doing very well right now. All right, guys, that sounds good to you. You know what to do. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more, and let's get started. So at the beginning of this week, Bitcoin broke out of this pendant. It came back down to test our uh, trend line here, but it fell through. It wasn't able to hold. This morning, it was setting a little bit higher. It came down this morning to around $67,400. Um, but now it is recovering a little bit. So, what do I think is most likely to happen next for Bitcoin? Well, if we take a look at the liquidation heat map, this is a 24-hour heat map. When I was setting this up this morning, there was this area down here around 68,500. Uh, we came down, we swept that liquidity. There was a lot more yellow in this, which means that there was a lot more volume here. So the market likes liquidity, it likes money, just like everybody does. And that's what these market makers do. They come out and they try to um, take people's money from them. So, what are they going to do next? Well, you see, there's this line here setting at just below $70,000. This is on the daily, so I think our next most likely move is we'll go up to sweep that area. Um, and if we zoom out and we take a look at the monthly chart, we can just see there is a ton of liquidity up here above the previous all-time highs. So that's really where I could see the market going um, here in the next month or so. We are approaching the halving, so that is also good for Bitcoin. Um, but I wanted to mention this chart right here. This is MicroStrategy. Um, Ticker symbol MSTR is currently sitting at $1,440. This is coming up quite nicely this morning. I took a trade on this morning, bought some MicroStrategy, and the reason I wanted to highlight this chart is I wanted to show you what this has done for you all out there that don't know who MicroStrategy is. It's led by Michael Saylor. He's one of the biggest Bitcoin bulls. He is all in on Bitcoin, and his fund is doing very, very well. So since the October lows, MicroStrategy, if we take it to the top of these wicks, it's about 527%, or to the top of these closes here, about 512% or so. And the reason I wanted to highlight that is because we go back and look at the Bitcoin chart. Well, what do we see from those same time frames? We can see here on those October lows. Let me zoom out here just a little bit more so we can get a better picture of this. Here are these October lows. We take a measurement. We went from down in there around $26,500 up to $73,300, which is a total of 176%. So MicroStrategy's performance um, is far outperformed Bitcoin. And if we just take a look at this, this is the Bitcoin MSTR divided by Bitcoin. This is the ratio of MicroStrategy's performance versus Bitcoin. And as you can see, it's outperformed Bitcoin and it has come back down. If we go back to MicroStrategy here, off these highs here, we were nearly at $2,000. We tapped it just briefly, and we're down at $1,450 this morning. So that is that's over 25%, really. We can take a measurement on that to get that exactly, just to see how much that is. That is a 31% pullback, and Bitcoin has not had nearly that type of pullback since we came off the highs. So I think this is a great entry point on MicroStrategy. So, well, as I mentioned, the Bitcoin halving is coming. It is, according to NiceHash, only 8 days away now. So we are getting very close. And what the Bitcoin halving is basically the hash rate of the Bitcoin mining gets cut in half from 900 down to 450. So a reduction in supply, which means price should go up. And that's why I wanted to mention the Bitcoin miners this morning, because we have some of these Bitcoin miners that are still offering really great entries. Here we have CleanSpark Energy. This is a Bitcoin miner. They have been doing really well. They've been kind of leading during this crypto bull cycle so far. We had a long accumulation base, series of higher lows and higher highs, going back down, falling just below that upper sloping trend line. We could probably zoom in a little bit more on this here just to get a better idea of what is going on here exactly. So if we zoom in, we could move this trend line now a little bit just to kind of update this, maybe take it something more like this now that we've got a bit more data. Uh, and so really, I think as long as this area right here holds of around $14, $13.50 to $14 on CleanSpark, you're probably going to get a good entry there. Um, and as you can see, just recently it was up around $25. So that would be a nice 66% return or so. So that is CleanSpark Energy. And the next one is Mara. And as you can see here, its previous all-time high was around $80, currently sitting around $18. We can zoom in here just a little bit. We have fallen a bit more here on Mara. We could update this trend line just a little bit to get a little bit cleaner idea of where we are at. But anywhere in this zone I see is a good entry point for Mara. I really expect this level here is probably going to provide a lot of resistance. We've come up and touched it several times before, was acting as resistance, now is acting as supply, or support rather. And so I could see this being a good entry point for Mara. And what's bringing these prices down right now? Well, like I mentioned, we have the Bitcoin halving, which means that while it's good for Bitcoin's price because it's a reduction in supply, it is also kind of a hindrance towards these Bitcoin miners because it cuts their revenue in half. That means whenever they are mining and they mine a Bitcoin, they have to work twice as hard in order to achieve that. So typically you see a pullback in these miners before the halving, and then after the halving, that is when these stocks can really take off, because once the dust has settled on the halving and the Bitcoin price then moves and all the dust settles, then we get a clearer picture of where everything is going. And that is going to be very good for these crypto miners. Another one is Riot. Can put my lines back here on the chart as well as my target, sitting down around $10 this morning. Uh, Really, my next target for this would be, well, first of all, it'd be this line here of around 1675, and then the first take profit would be 22 to $25 range. So that's 100 to 150% return. Um, I really like Riot at these prices. We can zoom in here just a little bit more. You can see we're just falling below this upward sloping trend, but really anywhere in this area should be a great buying opportunity. We have all this back here that acted as support, previously resistance. So I think this is a great buying opportunity for Riot. Uh, and I'm going to go ahead and update this line here. It's always good to update your charts if you are into um, trading. I am more of an investor and a swing trader, so I don't sit here all day just trading these charts. I study more of the macro environment, and I've been an investor for a long time, over 20 years. Um, I've done real estate investing, got Airbnbs, but anyway, there's a lot of other things I do. So this is the chart of Riot. I really like Riot at this price. I think this is a great entry for Riot. If you're interested in buying crypto, MicroStrategy, any of these Bitcoin miners or stocks, gold, anything like that, you can do so over on Robinhood. Today, they are offering a $405 boost uh, to max out your IRA contributions for 2023 before April 15th. So you got just a couple days now. Um, Whenever you open up an IRA with Robinhood, you can also earn 3% on rollovers by the end of April. So if you're interested, there is a link down below in the description. An IRA is a great way to set up a retirement savings account that is tax free. They also offer 8 times the national savings rate, and they allow you to buy fractional shares of stocks. So if you take MSTR, for example, that's setting at around $1,400 this morning, and say you only have $50, well, you can buy a fraction of that stock over on Robinhood. They also offer crypto, Bitcoin, Doge, Ethereum, SHIB, and many more, as well as gold. Honestly, this is one of the best platforms out there if you're just looking to set up uh, an account where you just want to start saving and investing. This is one of the best ways to do it, because to me, this is one of the most comprehensive ways to do that, especially if you're young and getting into just starting to invest. And the best way to do that is just through dollar cost averaging, taking a certain amount, say 10% of every paycheck, and just putting it in there every paycheck or every week or every day, however you want to do it, Just dollar cost average in. That is the best way to invest. That's what I did whenever I was working uh, in engineering. Um, just dollar cost average every paycheck, just like clockwork. Set it and forget it. Another stock is Robinhood. So just like the app, this is the app, or the company that has the app. Robinhood is sitting at $18.33. This stock did really well back in 2021. And it looks very similar to these crypto miners as more people want to trade once these markets. When markets go up, everyone gets interested. It's interesting. When Bitcoin goes up, people are interested. When markets go up, when the video is flying, I had friends calling me asking if they should get in. That's when everybody gets interested. And that is really not the time to buy. When you want to be buying is right now. There's a lot of good spot opportunities for these Bitcoin miners, investment opportunities, long-term investment opportunities. That is really when you want to get in, not when everybody's talking about it, because that is when you're at peak excitement, peak euphoria, and everybody's getting in. That's the time you want to be taking profits if you're trading. Now, if you're investing from a long-term perspective, you just invest and hold, but just dollar cost average in and hold. Like I said, I do swing trading, so I will be taking profits along the way on some of these. Um, but that's just my current strategy right now. But a lot of these are offering great buying opportunities, such as Robinhood, setting at $18.35 right now. And that brings me to one other point. Well, let's cover this first. This is the CPI came out this morning at 8:30, and it rose 3.5% for March. The expected, I believe, was 3.3. So that was higher than expected. So that is bringing down the price of Bitcoin this morning, as well as the SPY. We can take a look at the SPY here. This morning we opened down around 513. It's now coming back up, but it looks like the S&P 500 and the Qs may be starting to run out of steam. If these roll over here, we could see a bigger pullback for Bitcoin and the crypto markets. This is where if we see a 5 or say 10% correction on the stock market, you might see a 30% pullback in Bitcoin. I think that is a possibility. Um, Although everything right now is still green, it's still good. It's still a good time to be getting in on a lot of these while they're still cheap. It's just the markets that are overbought that I'd be fearful of buying into. So the S&P is moving up a little bit this morning. Really, I think we need to hold this level here of around 510 on the S&P or 5100 on the S&P, 510 on the SPY. Anywhere in this zone down to about 5,000. If we lose this level, I could see us going down to this 480 to 470 zone. That would be about your 10% pullback, which is typical in markets to have. Every 18 months or so. That's fairly typical that you see a correction. We've had a long uh, run up here on all these markets. And so typically we don't run this hard, this long without some sort of correction. So I do suspect that we will see some sort of correction. I don't know if it's going to be in the next couple months or maybe later this summer. I could see it be a sell in May and go away. That's a possibility. But still, I don't think, I think we'll be going much higher later this year as we go into the presidential election, as well as on Bitcoin. And another thing I wanted to show you on Bitcoin, which I mentioned a minute ago, while I'm thinking about it, is the lunar uh, calendar, the moon phases. We just printed a new moon um, on Monday. This is, when the solar eclipse is happening, but the new moon, um, basically, it's when opposite of the full moon, you don't really see the moon at night during the new moon, or very little of it, and it affects people's psychology and their emotions, and typically there's less activity, so this typically drives markets down. You can see when we had these in the past, we had corrections, and we get this full moon print, then the markets move up, especially here on Bitcoin. This has been really helpful with my trading. Um, and so it's good to maybe keep this on your trading view if you use something like this, or something to look at, or to just know when to get good buying opportunities, because really we could see Bitcoin come back up and maybe back down, maybe come back down around the $62,000 level. I really would like to see it hold the $63,800 level. If we get much below there, we may be going a little bit lower, but anyway, we've got a couple more weeks now until the next full moon print, so that will be just after the halving later this month. And that's when we could see Bitcoin really rip higher up to probably around $80,000. All right, guys, excuse me. Still kind of fighting some of these allergies. So, what's next? Well, we have gold. Gold has been on a rip ever since we broke this uh, neckline here on gold. It has been moving higher. It hit $2,400 basically yesterday. Um, I mentioned this whenever this was breaking out. Uh, Bought some of the gold miners to get more exposure, higher beta. Just like for Bitcoin, when Bitcoin moves higher, the miners move higher, but by more magnitude. And so you can get more gains and more beta by trading the miners. I took some profits on the miners after this run because this is really quite substantial. This run here is was about 20% on gold over the last uh, couple of weeks, and so that's really quick. Big gain for gold that quickly. Um, so it says 16.4%. I was thinking up to 2,400. I saw it, but anyway, that's the run up on gold. And I think it could go much higher. I could see it going something like $3,000 an ounce, possibly in the next couple of years. Really, commodities are really booming right now, and they are also a sign that something could be brewing. But for now, um, they are doing really well. This is a great time to get into some of these commodities and miners right now. Here is the silver price chart, and we have this giant inverse head and shoulders, which is bullish for silver. This same pattern we saw in gold, and so silver is just lagging here a little bit. We saw about a 45% change from the head to this neckline. So if we take that same measurement here on silver, well, you can see that puts us up to about $37 per ounce, just over on silver. So right now, it really is a good time to be getting in on silver. If you can get silver down here, maybe if we see a little pullback on silver, let's just zoom in here a little more just so we can see this a little better. Uh, so right now it's saying at $28.38. If it pulled back down somewhere around this $27, $26 range, I would be buying this. If it got down to this line, 25.60, I'd definitely be buying this. So a good way to do this is maybe enter a little bit here. You could buy some more down here and then put in a third entry down here. That would give you a nice average price of around that $26 range and allow you to really maximize your returns. If silver goes higher, I definitely think this is going higher over the next couple of years. If you're interested in buying crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, silver, you can do so over here on iTrust Capital. You can open up an iTrust Capital IRA. It's a tax advantage IRA. The reason I like using IRAs, I know a lot of people have a lot of these different accounts. I've got a few like over on Apex and opening up a MEXC account this morning. Prime XBT, those are newer for me. I'm just using those to kind of dollar cost average into and use a little bit of leverage. I don't recommend that for everybody, but the reason I like IRAs is because they are tax advantage. So that means whenever you're saving in a tax advantage account and you make gains, you're not taxed on that until you take it out at retirement. And I rolled over a portion of my IRA into iTrust Capital. They allow you to buy, sell, and trade gold, silver, and crypto 24/7 with low cost and no monthly fee. There is a link down below. They have over 3,000 plus 5-star reviews on Google, and they have great customer service. They actually have people you can talk to when you have questions. They are really helpful whenever I was setting up my account. Like I said, there is a link below. This is one of the best ways to build long-term wealth and uh, set up generational wealth and save for retirement because of that tax advantage IRA. So if you're interested, like I said, there is a link down below. And don't forget to protect yourself online and get yourself a VPN. This is NordVPN. They're offering 66% off right now, plus 3 extra months. So protect yourself while you're out there online. There's a lot of scams out there, especially during this time. So just be careful out there, guys. And you don't want to possibly make a lot of money just to get scammed or something like that. So protect yourself, protect your profits, protect your identity. Get yourself a VPN. For less than $3 a month, you can protect your online security or identity. Uh, like I said, there is a link below. And you can also use a VPN when you're setting up something such as Prime XBT. All right, guys, don't forget to follow me over here on Twitter. I am at Mind of Financier on Twitter or X. I am Mind of the Financier on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So over here, I'll be posting charts like this or anything that I see in the markets that may help you become a better investor and trader. Like I said, I'm not really a day trader, I'm more of a swing trader, but I'll post things over here as I see them. I try to post over here daily. So I provide setups like these and just what I'm seeing in the market in general, so you can follow me over there. All right, guys, I hope everyone has a great day. Until next time, stay safe out there, my friends. Thank you all so much and be legendary. All right, guys, have a great day.